that they'll give you the results?
It depends on what's in the search engines. In other words, if there are thousands of pizza places in a very small region, you know, it gets more competitive. If you're in a rural area and you're the only pizza place within 100 miles, you'll probably come up. So it's really depends on a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors, you know. On the other hand, if you're not in place pages and you're not in some of these other things, you're basically invisible. So Google may not even know you exist. So that's always the trade-off. Just because you're there doesn't mean you're there on the internet. It's not like the yellow pages that you're still there. You know, you may not be. You know, and you can hurt yourself by having a flash site. If your site is all in flash, nobody's going to know you're there. Totally invisible. Okay, so now, before this place pages, how many of you remember Google Maps page where instead of the place pages coming up, the first 10 results, we used to call that the top 10 box. Now I say used to. That was just a couple months ago, right? I mean, the top 10 box, that was the important thing. That was Google Place pages before, but it was generated from Google Maps. In other words, it came from that section. Now, I understand, by the way, that Bing actually has better results for this for maps. They actually have a nicer map display than actually Google has, so sometimes you might want to check that out. But basically, now you have to have Google Place tags so you can have your organic results. If you go to Google Maps and you do a search within Google Maps, you don't get those results on the page on the general search that you used to, but you can go to the Maps, Google Maps, and do a search, and you will get a map of the businesses that are in the place pages, and it will show where those businesses are on the map. But now you have to go to it. That's not in the results anymore. That's changed. Now, here's a thing that's changed on Google Maps, and we're not really sure what basically was the why this happened, but maybe because Google doesn't want you to click through to the site, and we're not really sure why, because we had a discussion about why would they do this. They used to have results for sponsored listings where you could click on the listing and this information box would pop up. And then you could click on the information box and that would click through to the website, and you would pay when they click through on the website. But if you're looking for local results, a lot of people are just looking for a phone number. So if this pops up, you get an info box and you can click, you can call, you have information, but now there's no link to the site. So there must be a reason that they're thinking people don't need it, or they don't want to, give it to you, but you can't click through to the site on this one. Maybe because you have to pay. They want you to pay if you click through. So in the organic results, you will get this box, but you do not get a link to the actual site. So that's just a little FYI. It's changed.
That's where the Google Place is.
Right. Okay. I'm just looking for a place that might be a good break. If you want, we could break here. Okay. So let's look at how do you optimize for Google Maps organic listings. I think it's really important for you to know that there are some basic principles that you have to follow. And I mentioned that today, it used to be Google Business Center. Today it's called Google Place Pages, and it's still at Google Local Business Center. So if you are not in Place Pages, I would recommend that everybody do this. It's free, and you just have to set up your profile. So you go to Google Business, Local Business Center, and you go to the Place Pages, and then you just set up whatever they ask you for, just fill in the blanks. They just tell you what's your street address, etc. They will send you, I believe, a postcard, or they'll ask you whether they can call you at that place location to make sure and verify that you're legitimate. So it really checks. It's a check and balance kind of system, so that not everybody, especially business chains, et cetera, if you don't really have a location, they don't really want you playing in that local space. But there are, as I said before, there are ways to get around that. Today, what's very, very important in a lot of these listings are reviews. And I have actually seen some really interesting ways of getting people to do reviews. For example, if you buy a car today, there are certain car dealers that sort of understand this. And what they ask you to do right away is they say, here's a postcard with a URL. Go to it, and can you write a review of the service that you got here? Now, they've figured out that if even 1/10 of the people that they serve go to there and they have 10 reviews, that's going to help you with ranking. So reviews today are very important. So if you go to the place pages and you have reviews, that's going to help your ranking come up above someone else. So think about it. Think about a strategy for it. So if you can find a way that somebody comes in your door and you can get them to write a review for you, that would be really helpful, and that really helps to get that ranking for you. I just want to say one other thing about reviews, because I get this question all the time. People say, well, what happens if it's a negative review? What happens if someone writes a negative review? What I always say is, in any business, and a lot of us, the bottom line is service. I mean, to have a business, a sustainable business for any number of years other than one, you have to have good customer service. And I say always learn from it. If somebody's complaining about something that you or one of your employees has done, just good rule of thumb is answer it. Embrace it. Say, thank you for pointing that out to us. We're going to take care of it. Even if the customer's an idiot, you really do need to deal with it. And whether you deal with it online or offline, a lot of the companies like the bigger places, JetBlue and the airlines, what they do is they handle it right on. They have a customer complaint, and they say, here's what we're doing about it. We gave them this, and then they get great reviews from the customer, and the customer is now satisfied, and they've turned that customer from a complainer into an advocate. So negative reviews can be looked at as helpful. Don't always look at it as that's a complaining customer. How can that enhance your service? And then make it public that you did something about it. If you are online, that you did something about it, and that you encourage people to really help you make your business better. And who's going to not like that? So people always say that because on the internet everything is open. So do think about that. For optimization, one of the things you want to do is on your site you want to put in as much local terms as if you are a local business and you want to embrace business in a certain locality, you can actually put in names of neighborhoods. You can put in names of towns that are around. So optimize your website for those words, because people do search for neighborhood words, and that's really important. And you have to know where to put them. But as we said before, titles, in the content, maybe basically in a paragraph on the bottom, we serve this community, blank, 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 and all the names of the communities you serve. Those all help you with organic results, or as I'm saying, natural results. Okay. Basically, you will get a better result if you're closer to the city or the center of the city, and you have nothing to do about that. That's just location. Number of local links pointing to your website, that helps. So if you can get other businesses in the area to list or carry your website and point to a link to your website, that helps. And basically, what does affect all search results is site architecture. A lot of people don't talk about this because they don't know about it, but your navigation, how you have navigation in a website? Basically, the first step in search is what we call indexability. Your site has to be able to be indexed by a robot.